Once upon a time where we
smoke some trees,
act funny,
talk fairy tale history,
and try not to get drunk.
All right, well, welcome to another episode of Blunts Upon a Time. I am Jonny Hauser, your host, here with my good friends and co-hosts, as always, Jimmy Bain and Denzale Whitehead. And our guest this episode of Blunts Upon a Time is my very good friend, a very funny comic from the Muskegon, West Michigan area, Scott Zank. Yay!
Hello,
Give it up for Scott Zank. Nope, that's the wrong one. Hold on. Give it up for Scott Zank. There we go. All right. Yeah, that's it.
I kind of like the other one better.
We're a professional crew here.
We really are. So thank you so much, Scott, for being here. Welcome. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Good.
This is exciting.
Good. So first off, we'll give you a little promo time here. Is there anything you got coming up soon that you would like us to talk about? You got a website? You got anywhere people we can put on the screen where people can go and find out what you got going on?
So Facebook's all that we use.
Okay.
So Facebook, it's just Get Zanked.
All right. Put that up on the screen there, as Jimmy was mimicking earlier, so people can go and check that out. That they will see when this actually airs, what you got going on. And you do manage a lot of rooms in, like I said, the West Michigan, Muskegon area.
Yeah.
And you also. Yeah, how many?
Five,
yeah. Nice. So, and then you also are a very talented comedian as well. So it'll give all of our legions of fans the opportunity to go check out either a room you run or scores of fans. So
please go like my page.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, literal pairs of
7
people
now.
listening.
Oh,
Right.
I haven't checked the numbers recently. We're up to 7. That's nice.
Yeah.
So,
Right,
all right.
So don't zank yourself. Go get zanked professionally.
Yes, professionally zanked.
I like that. I'm taking that.
Yeah, go for it. By all means.
yeah.
All
No,
right.
you wrote this episode. Yes. You yelled at me specifically.
He said, I want to get zanked.
Make it look natural.
So to that point, let's go ahead and reveal what we are going to be discussing today. So the fairy tale that we're going to be reading today is The Emperor's New Clothes.
Oh.
Yes.
Finally.
So I'm glad I actually know that one.
Yes.
We're
Here's the thing. So in season 1, we are now on season 3. So in season 1, we did a lot of the more well-known fairy tales right out of the gate. Like Little Red Riding Hood and Little Mermaid and Goldilocks and things like that.
All the little things.
Yeah. And then season 2, we had more of the lesser known. We did an American Tall Tale Fable, that kind of thing.
That shit was whack.
Reaching out. Yeah. This one is.
You're
I
just
would
mad
say,
you can't ride tornadoes.
Obviously, and everybody else on the fucking planet.
Yeah.
This shit was fucking
Yeah,
garbage.
the Pecos Bill one. That was a good one. So, yeah, I would say The Emperor's New Clothes certainly lately is a bit more well-known tale. They've made, Disney movies, versions of it, and that kind of thing.
I don't think there was a Disney version.
The Emperor's New Groove. Wasn't that a Disney?
I
Whatever, it's animated.
I was gonna ask. Is that the?
I think that was kind of a
That's the
version.
llama thing.
Yeah, but
I'm a llama
I think
again.
that this is that story though.
Well, I'm not going to tell you because that would ruin it.
Doesn't
I've read
matter
this, so,
because
yeah.
I've only seen bits and pieces of that movie.
Fair enough. I honestly
yeah.
haven't seen it. So
All I remember from it is we had a book where there was a bare naked butt.
Oh.
In the story. That's all I remember, actually. I don't
Okay,
know.
well, we'll see how that comes into play then.
All right.
So this is The Emperor's New Clothes. Now, this is a tale by Hans Christian Andersen, which certainly we've done his before. In fact, our first overall episode, season 1, episode 1, with the very funny Kate Carmody was The Little Mermaid, which was actually a Hans Christian Andersen original. And that's an important distinction because a lot of times, we've talked about this with the Grimm brothers and other well-known fairy tale authors, they openly admitted a lot of times they were not the ones that wrote these fairy tales. They were either relaying a tale that they knew growing up or they just collected them, and were kind of responsible for putting them all in one place. So in this case, Hans Christian Andersen does have some that are originals, as I mentioned, The Little Mermaid, and this one. This is a Hans Christian Andersen original as well. So as far as we know, he didn't adapt it from anything else. He just came up with this one. This was written in 1837, or released at that time. Hans himself was born in 1805, so he was about in his mid-30s. And he was obviously a very prolific writer. Hundreds of fairy tales that he did in his collections over the years. So
That just made me feel better about being 34.
Right? There you go. Nice. Yeah, you still got a lot to accomplish.
Yeah.
So-
And this is like cowboy time.
yeah.
This is the last pandemic.
Yeah. Pre. Well, there was a couple pandemics. This was pre. So, yeah, 1837, like I said. So, The Emperor's New Clothes, Hans Christian Andersen, 1837. Once upon a time, there was an emperor so exceedingly fond of new clothes that he spent all his money on being well dressed. He cared nothing about reviewing his soldiers, going to the theater, or going for a ride in his carriage, except to show off his new clothes.
What if his soldiers were like flossing as well?
Yeah,
I don't think they really go into
like
that.
I mean,
Now,
like
how-
if you're
why
gonna be
is it-
out there, why wouldn't you have the whole crew looking good? Because you basically just hanging out with a bunch of bums.
You don't know scrubs following you.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he wants to stand out, so he wants them to look probably worse by comparison. You know, like it's like you keep the ugly friends around you so you look better, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if
Is that why I'm
nobody
here?
else comes around and somebody else comes around and they're balling and then all
Yeah.
their boys are fucking balling, like look at you, them fucking bums.
Yeah. So
That's how people look at us.
Well,
like
I mean-
look at me.
Well, I get it.
Like you realize
Especially when
that.
we're around, yeah.
I
No,
realized earlier
we've
today,
long
Jimmy
since-
pre-wrinkles his pants before he wears them.
That is interesting, yeah. We've long since conceded the fact that Denzel is the face of the organization.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah,
Thank God.
I know
I was
you're
hoping.
concerned.
It's like I wonder which one of them thinks they are.
Yeah, right. It's going to be an interesting social experiment. All right, so yeah, this king, the only thing he cared about was showing off his cool shit, his clothes. So he had a coat for every hour of the day, and instead of saying, as one might, about any other ruler, the kings in council, here they always said, the emperor's in his dressing room. So yeah, like everybody knew that this dude only cared about his clothes. That's all he
Honestly,
did.
one for every hour isn't bad after watching Usher perform the other day.
Man, I've seen Weird Al Yankovic change costumes a lot in concert.
Yeah.
Like that. I mean, I can see him not wasting a lot of time
I'd give him emperor status.
changing. I can see him
Weird
not
Al
wasting
Yankovic.
a lot of time changing.
That's Emperor
his outfits.
Weird Al to you, sir.
I have a bit where I take off my shirt and have another shirt, and I actually run. I'm out of breath by the time I get the shirt off. I don't know.
Well, you know, it's important to do aerobic activity while you're on stage. So yeah, so you know, even his constituents knew that he only cared about his clothes. So in the great city where he lived, life was always gay. Every day, many strangers came to town, and among them, one day came two swindlers. I don't think they announced themselves that way, but they were kind of blowing the rest of the story. Like, we
Hey, who
know
wants
it.
to get swindled?
Yeah.
Come on, girl. I know you want to get swindled. Come on.
Right? I think we're more of like, we're the only ones that know that. So,
That would have ruined the story.
that's what I'm saying.
Don't tell people that.
Yeah. Hey, yo, what's up? We need some swindling. We're your guys.
I'm here to sell snake oil.
Oh, here we go. I guess. As to illuminate my point, I swear to God I've read this before, but I also got quite high. So as to illuminate the point, they let it be known that they were weavers, and they said that they could weave the most magnificent fabrics imaginable.
Dream
Baskets,
weavers.
too, yeah.
Yeah. They can help me get through the night.
They believe.
They believe they can get you through the night, yeah. So not...
I hated that bit.
Really, you're not into Dreamweaver? That shocks the hell out of me. So not only were their colors and patterns uncommonly fine, but clothes made of this cloth.
Unfucking necessary.
Your face was how I felt, so thank you for that.
I'm so high right now. So they said that they could weave magical garments. So not only were their colors and patterns uncommonly fine, but clothes made of this cloth had a wonderful way of becoming invisible to anyone who was unfit for his office or who was unusually stupid. Just marvelous.
So why didn't we hear the bet between these two swindlers before they got into town?
So you're trying to trading places? This is like Randolph and Mortimer now? They got $1 riding on
Like,
this.
how many chicks can we get to wear invisible clothes?
You got it.
That's what they're thinking. Like, dude, I
It's
get
going to
like
go
at least
so much
8.
further than just getting them to wear it. Like, believe me, they have
You
grand
gotta
ambitions.
tell them that only stupid people can see an invisible clothes.
No. If you can't see the clothes, it's because you're stupid. That's like it turns like it's invisible to the stupid or the unfit for office.
I'm gonna
That's
use
why-
that next
that's
time
why
I
I
get
said-
pulled over.
So if you don't see the clothes, it must only mean you're either stupid
you're
or
the dumb one?
unfit. Yeah.
we should go for a walk by the river
But
after
like
this.
that also is like kind of fucking. It's only an advantage to like stupid people because like they just get to see everybody naked.
Or a swindler, perhaps. So, all right. So So the swindlers say that these clothes are so magical that they have a way of becoming invisible to anyone who was unfit for their office or who was stupid. So anyone else could see them, but if they became invisible, no. That's
and
what it meant.
and you're wearing stupid clothes.
Well,
then-
they're making them for So they're just selling the concept at this point. So
I'm getting a lot of like picture them in their underwear vibes. From
yeah.
So those would be just the clothes for me, thought the emperor. If I wore them, I would be able to discover which men in my empire are unfit for their posts. And I could tell the wise men from the fools. Yes, I certainly must get some of the stuff woven for me right away.
Yeah, anybody who walks up to, hey, I can see your dick.
Like, you dummy, get him out of here.
This stupid piece of shit out of here. Off with his head.
Absolutely his logic and his justification. Could not be more correct in how he described that.
I like it.
From that moment on, the advisors got real specific. Like, all right, the king's gonna act real weird.
Just go with it, trust me. This has been worse.
Just,
So he paid the two swindlers a large sum of money to start work at once. They set up 2 looms and pretended to weave, though there was nothing on the looms. All the finest silk and the purest old thread, which they demanded, went into their traveling bags while they worked the empty looms far into the night. So yeah, they're giving them the materials to make this special stuff, and they're just pocketing it and
Yes,
Yeah.
here you go.
yeah. So they're working far into the night. I'd like to know how those weavers are getting on with the cloth, the emperor thought, but he felt slightly uncomfortable when he remembered that those who were unfit for their position would not be able to see the fabric. If he couldn't have been,
Oh, see, the problem was your brain start. I could see it in your face. You're
right.
like, if,
just
I was
fall.
like, oh,
just
please.
fall.
I was like, honestly waiting for like your head to pop. I was like, oh, come on.
You
Come
guys
on,
remember that scene in Scanners? All right, let me try that again. It couldn't have been that he doubted himself, yet he thought he'd rather send someone else to see how things were going. The whole town knew about the cloth's peculiar power, and all were impatient to find out how stupid their neighbors were. So that will lead us to our first
the
fairy
arrogance.
tale trivia. Yeah. All right, so guys, we are going to go ahead with the first fairy tale trivia question. So as you see up on the screen there. And we will go ahead and defer to our guests. So, Scott, you'll be able to go ahead and answer first. Now,
yay.
if you've never heard or listened to a show before, while we do keep score, the points mean nothing, and we declare a winner, but you get nothing for winning. It's mostly just to make sure that we keep Jimmy's confidence in check, because he traditionally does not do well at this. We love you, Jimmy, and we're glad you're
Well,
here.
Jimmy, I'm
but-
going to feel like a fucking Jeopardy champion today.
But no, I mean, honestly, we give bragging rights to whoever wins. So, yeah.
So the worst part is I literally stared at you the whole time paying attention, and I don't remember shit.
That's
that's
the point.
good, because
Yeah,
that's
that's
perfect.
A recap for our audience is often as good as a recap for our guests. We do keep track of the points and we do declare a winner, but it's merely for bragging rights. So the way we do it is we're going to let you go first, Scott. So you go ahead and take your hit, and then you can see the question up there. So whenever you're ready, go ahead and answer, and I will read for the people following along at home then who cannot see the questions at this point. So the emperor, he's sending somebody to go and check on the status of his new invisible stupid detector clothes. So the question is, whom did the emperor send? So Scott, and we mentioned this before, there may not have been any hint whatsoever in this point of the story. So if it seems like it's coming out of nowhere, that doesn't necessarily mean you weren't paying attention. So whom did the emperor send?
Well, the wizard, obviously.
Okay, well, let me read them off, because the people at home can't see them. But yeah, so was it A, the minister, B, a general, C, his daughter, or D, a wizard. So as you alluded to, you think it's the wizard?
Well, I feel like I have to say wizard, but no, I'm going to say general.
Okay, so you're going to change it. All right, that's fine.
Wizard just seems like the
You
perfect
gave me
answer.
time to think about it.
Yeah. So you think that he picked a general out and was like, hey, go check on the status of my ship?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll just work our way around the table. So I'm going to repeat it again real quick for those at home who are also perhaps stoned at this point. Whom did the Emperor send Denzale? Was it A, one of his ministers, B, one of his generals, C, his daughter, or D, a wizard?
I feel like wizard will be too smart, so I gotta say general.
You're not giving a lot of credit to this Emperor so far.
No. Like, I mean, obviously you got some magical shit going on. You send a wizard, be like, yo, what's up? What's going on here?
Okay.
But, like, I don't think this dude does this. I think he sends the general.
So you think you're going with Scott on this one? You think it's a general as well?
Yeah,
Send the
yeah,
military
yeah.
man for the
Exactly. I
recon
wanna-
mission.
Yeah, exactly. Perfectly.
All right.
The most important thing in his life, it seems like.
Yeah, right. Okay. I mean, that makes logical sense.
Now that we're talking about it, I think it's
agree with you on
minister,
that.
but I'm going to stick with it.
All right. So Jimmy, last but certainly not least, whom did the Emperor send? Was it A, one of his ministers, B, one of his generals, C, his daughter, or D, a wizard?
I like how, the minister and general and daughter all have like his own possession, but you just address it as just like a wizard.
Well, you can't own a wizard.
There's
I mean,
a wizard around.
have you ever
Right.
seen a wizard king situation where the king owns the wizard? Fuck no.
could be
That
like
wizard
the
can do
wizard,
whatever
like-
he wants.
Because, like,
Yeah.
usually the wizard is kind of part of, like, like, the
The king
can
is the
come and
king
ask a
because of the
favor.
wizard,
Yeah.
usually.
Yeah, usually,
So-
like, the king,
and the wizard
like,
goes somewhere else once he's
Yeah.
done. So that's, I
just-
guess, why I'm thinking that
He
way.
was just some
but-
drunk dude. He was like, I want to be king.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
"All right, I got a few years. I'm not doing anything else. My dragons are off.
So if this guy was smart, he would send in his daughter just to check to see if his genes were stupid. But
So, yeah,
Yeah.
see it
But
if you-
Not only that, for the next few
Like,
weeks,
I want to see how.
dude's just going to be hanging dong everywhere. So it's
Right,
probably best to
but-
have daughter out.
Yeah,
but
but he's only going to be hanging dong around the unqualified or stupid. So maybe he's okay with that.
but he's not.
Love how this
So
is
I've
like-
traveled all over the country. There's a lot of that out there.
Yeah, I've
hanging
definitely hung
dong.
dong in front of the stupid and unqualified without any
Yeah.
stuff. In fact,
saying-
if they're there with me and allowing me to hang dong, I think they're guilty on both counts
Me
already.
too, and I want to apologize to my wife for saying.
I'm sorry. You were- so what was your answer?
Oh shit! Yeah, this guy's not smart. This guy's dumb. The first guy he's going to is his minister. This guy's checking religion first.
All right, so you think he's going to? Well, I guess I didn't mean it necessarily like it could be a defense minister or whatever. But yeah, if it's a religious minister. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and figure out who is right for fairy tale trivia number 1. So again, just to recap, Scott and Denzale said they think it's a general, and Jimmy said he thinks it's a minister, meaning like a religious, like a clergyman of some kind.
Well, I'm wrong, but
No, but you made
No.
it a point to think that he's sending a religious advisor, and
Yeah.
I was saying that they said a general, so it means nothing.
Jenny Rob.
All right, so we'll go back to the story to figure out who is right. So the Emperor, he's going to send somebody, and so he's trying to decide who to send to check in on the status of his new clothes. So he says, I'll send my honest old minister to the
Oh.
Weavers. So yay,
Yeah.
Jimmy.
There we go,
No,
Jimmy.
that's the wrong one.
God damn it,
There we
you
go.
these fucking buttons.
I mean, technically, that was the fairy tale trivia one. Yeah. So Jimmy is out to an unprecedented 1-0 lead. Congratulations, Jimmy.
Jeopardy champion.
Yes. So the Emperor decides to send his minister to go check in on the progress of his clothes. I'll send my honest old minister to the Weavers, the Emperor decided. He'll be the best one to tell me how the material looks, for he's a sensible man, and no one does his duty better. So the honest old minister went to the room where the two swindlers sat working away at their empty looms. Heaven help me, he thought as his eyes flew wide open. I can't see anything at all. But he
You
did not say so.
dumbass.
But he did not say so. Both the swindlers begged him to be so kind as to come near to approve the excellent pattern, the beautiful colors. They pointed to the empty looms, and the poor old minister stared as hard as he dared. So he's basically trying to see this magic eye thing. Right?
He's like, am I really stupid?
He's like, oh no, I can't tell him I can't see it.
You could just ask to
beautiful,
touch
sir.
it. Yeah. Motherfucker, like, dumbass. Like,
Oh, don't worry, they got a plan for that too.
oh, fuck.
1837 pretending to hold shit. Like, yeah, this is beautiful, sir.
Yeah, I mean, come on,
Don't
you got to
kill
see
me.
this, right? So he couldn't see anything because there was nothing to see. Heaven have mercy, he thought. Could it be that I'm a fool? I'd never have guessed it, and not a soul must know. Am I unfit to be the minister? It would never do to let on that I can't see the cloth. So yeah, he's basically like, either way, whether I'm stupid or unfit, I better keep this to myself.
Church is about to get awesome though.
I'm stupid, unfit, and a coward.
and about to be a naked one. All right, so well, I guess these clothes are for the emperor. So, so don't hesitate to tell us what you think of it," said one of the weavers. "Oh, it's beautiful. It's enchanting." The old minister peered through his spectacles. "Such a pattern! What colors! I'll be sure to tell the emperor how delighted I am with it."
Sir, we're making a blue one right now. It's not.
No, it's fucking gold.
Asia's fuck.
It's that dress. It's
Yeah, this is
it's
that
blue
first
gold
argument
dress.
ever. It's like, it's blue, it's gold! War! So yeah, he's like, not only do I think it's wonderful, I'm going to tell the emperor just how delighted I am with it, how glorious it is.
Good.
So we're pleased to hear that, the swindlers said. They proceeded to name all the colors and to explain the intricate pattern.
This guy wrote Gaslight like 100 years before it came out.
Yes, he did. So the old minister paid the closest attention so that he could tell it all to the emperor, and so he did. The swindlers at once asked for more money, more silk and gold thread to get on with the weaving. So like, you see how awesome this is? Imagine if you gave us even more. Am I right?
God damn.
Kind of sounds like some recent current events.
I thought we weren't going to be political.
No, we're not. This is 1837.
This
Hans
is
Christian Andersen.
This is an evergreen episode.
A little bit.
So you better be talking about Calvin Coolidge.
All right. So the swindlers asked for more money, more silk, and gold thread to get on with the weaving, but it all went into their pockets. Not a thread went into the looms, even though they worked at their weaving as hard as ever, or at least appeared to be.
Like at that point though, like you're already working. Like you could just make the shit.
No, because then they'd see it, and the grift would stop working.
Can you imagine something worse than a shop job? Just standing there, just doing nothing.
Yeah. If your grift is producing nothing, you
Like
can't
at one
start
point,
suddenly
though,
producing
could you, like,
something.
could you, like,
that
sell
runs it.
somebody, like-
Yeah.
So like sell at least one person like a decent like set of clothes, and then everybody else gets the bullshit.
You let Hans do his storytelling and
'Cause, like, all right, look,
his moral practice is signaling.
because like
his
you may
way.
not know, like you would feel not wearing clothes.
We're gonna address that.
The village idiot walks by. He goes, that is a great shade of green.
Yeah,
He's
right.
like, what the fuck?
Let Hans weave his tale. Pun intended. The emperor presently sent another trustworthy
I hate
official.
that you did that, by the way.
So we're par for the course. The emperor presently sent another trustworthy official to see how the work progressed and how soon it would be ready. The same thing happened to him that had happened to the minister. He looked and he looked, but as there was nothing to see in the looms, he couldn't see anything. "Isn't it a beautiful piece of goods?" the swindlers asked him, as they displayed and described their imaginary pattern. And that will lead us to our second fairy tale trivia. So, all right, we are again going to... So, number 2, Jimmy, we'll let you go first here, as you are our leader at this point. And we'll just go around the table then. So, why did the official think he could not see the clothes? So the second guy shows up, and at this point he realizes he can't see the clothes. So the first guy is like, well, I might be either stupid or unqualified or both. So we'll see what this official thinks. So why did this official think he couldn't see any clothes? Did he A, think that he was somehow enchanted because these guys are magical or something? B, did he just think, man, I must just be stupid? C, did he think he was being tricked in some way, like, hey, these guys are swindlers? Or D, did he just think, oh, I must be unworthy?
Has it been established yet that these swindlers are actually just like really, really fucking big and intimidating? Like,
It never really talks about their size or dimensions.
Look at this thread.
Yeah. No, I don't believe. I don't really remember what it does going forward, but at this point they haven't really made any allusions to their size, or they just showed up to appear to be merchants. So I guess they're the same dimensions of most people in this kingdom.
Well, I don't think anyone's smart enough in this story to point it out yet. So he himself thinks that he was unworthy
Okay, so he thinks
because he couldn't possibly be stupid.
fair. So he's not willing to admit he's stupid. He'd rather just say, you know what, I just must not be I must not be worthy some way that whatever.
It's because of all those people I killed. Yeah.
Or maybe he knows.
It's 1837. We're all serial killers.
Yeah, like how do you get ahead in this world if you don't
fair, like, he
murder
might-
scores of people?
I hadn't considered that. Maybe he just shows up and he's like, "Oh yeah, I knew this would come back to
Yeah,
haunt
you
me."
know.
Here
I
it is.
murdered
Yeah.
my brother on the way here.
Yeah.
To burn down that village.
All right.
But like that dude was like so burnable though.
Probably that child corpse I stole
Like,
from those
that was
dwarfs
almost
that
an
one
accident,
time.
but then I was like, oops.
I wish he wouldn't have smiled at me. Otherwise, I would.
Right. All right. So Jimmy, you think he considered himself unworthy? That's why he couldn't. That he believed the clothes were there and everything was on the up and up, but he's like, "Oh, I must be unworthy." Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Denzale, we'll go to you next. Why do you think the official thought he couldn't see the clothes? Do you think it was A, he thought he was enchanted, B, he figured he was just stupid, C, he realized that they were being swindled, or D, he figured he was unworthy?
I feel like the theme of this story is arrogance. So I don't think B or D because like he thinks he's worthy and he thinks he's smart.
Okay.
He either thinks he's being tricked or he's being fucking enchanted, which I feel like that's just being tricked with magic. But so like
So you're in a semantics debate with yourself now. Okay. I just want to tell everyone, if this is the first time you're checking in, I don't go this deep in when I write these questions at all. It's about a 15-minute process. But I love the way you guys do every time. You're like, well, it's a religious philosophical question. So he sent a minister, he's like, well, the ego comes into play. Now we're talking about the id versus the ego. I'm like, Jesus Christ, man. All right.
so I think it's C.
All right, so you think he figures, hey,
Yeah.
wait a minute, these guys are swindlers.
Yeah, exactly.
I figured you out. There's no prince in Nigeria or whatever.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. Scott, what do you think?
So the same. I figured he was like, this guy's stupid as fuck. I'm about to take this place over. Yeah, that looks great.
So-
he was tricked.
So he's the first one to realize these guys are full of shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Okay, all right. So Jimmy thinks he thought he was unworthy, and you guys think he's like, I call bullshit. So this official thinks to himself, I know I'm not stupid, the man thought. So it must be that I'm unworthy of my good office.
man.
Jimmy!
Damn.
Man.
Yeah.
I'm sweeping it.
Yeah,
I know
now-
everyone's
All right,
stupid.
so from now on, if you answer it, I'm just going to go away with a different
So,
Son
I
of a
mean,
bitch.
this
Not
is
doing
rather
well.
unprecedented
Yeah.
because Jimmy has sealed a victory. There's only one more fairy tale trivia
Oh.
question. So
Yeah.
unless he
There's-
does something
Bring it on,
exceedingly
motherfucker.
annoying, which I have subtracted and added bonus points in my whim for no reason.
Yeah.
But
So he's down by
congratulations,
one right
Jimmy.
now, right?
No.
All right, hold up.
I got to
What
give
if-
him props when he does. He's 2 up. He's up 2-0.
All
So
right,
great
all
job,
right.
dude.
But here's the
Yeah.
challenge.
Yeah.
What if the next fairy tale question, if me and Zach get it right, it's Zank. Oh my god!
Like the fact that you're
I-
purely lobbying without any justification offends me.
I know.
And no.
I-
Giving
like,
him longer to think. Stop.
Sorry, Scott Zank. It's a Z. Fuck me up. I'm sorry, man.
I did say if shit went south, I was Zach Knotts.
Yeah, that's right. Yes. Buddy.
You're welcome.
All right.
Man.
So as it turns out, congratulations, Jimmy.
Hold on.
The guy, he's not willing to. I mean, you were kind of on the right track. It is still about ego. He's unwilling to
Yeah.
admit that he's stupid.
But I wasn't.
So it must be.
Hold
he's
on, I wasn't
unworthy.
done yet. But like, what if me and Scott get the question right
Yeah.
and Jimmy gets it wrong? Can we just put our 2 points together to match Jimmy's, and Jimmy doesn't win?
Either way, we're
No.
taking a victory.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
As much as we tease Jimmy for losing as
said the
often as
points
he
don't
does,
matter.
he
We do what we
deserves the goddamn credit when he gets it right. And this
you
far,
and your
he's up 2-0.
morality.
You're damn right.
Yo,
Shout out to
You know, I can subtract points anywhere I want. So.
I said
on public
tread
education
lightly.
and single moms. I don't know fairy tales.
Right?
I suddenly wonder why I'm winning the episode about gaslighting.
Yeah.
No, you're doing a good job, Jimmy. You always do a good job. We need you.
Jesus.
All right, so
You've won every time. I don't know what you're talking about.
this is how it always goes. All right, so the official is only willing to accept that he must just be unqualified for his office. So it must be that I'm unworthy of my good office. That's strange. I mustn't let anyone find it out, though. So, like, even though he's willing to admit, he still is like, although I thought I was. Like, he
no,
Nobody wants
gaslights
to
himself.
lose their job, even if
That's strange. I could have sworn I was good at my job. Oh, well.
You don't get to become an officer by like knowing.
I wonder if it's because
stuff.
I hit that lady. I only backhanded her 3 times.
I
What?
wonder what it could be.
No, it's 1837. It definitely wouldn't have been that. No guilt
Jesus.
whatsoever.
She
all
didn't
right.
die.
He's like, that's the only bad thing I might have done. I don't know.
So I mustn't let anyone find out, though, that I'm unqualified. So he praised the material he did not see. He declared he was delighted with the beautiful colors and the exquisite pattern. To the emperor, he said, "It held me spellbound." All the town was talking of this splendid cloth.
I wouldn't answer directly either. Like, how was it? Like, oh, I couldn't believe it. Like,
I was spellbound. I don't know what to say. Truly.
Side note: This
This
has
shit nearly blinded me.
I have an idea for new merch.
Yeah, right? Our exclusive Emperor with No Clothes episode. Get it now, limited quantities.
That's right. Stop in the back, grab some of that T-shirt.
You can
with
see
that
our table is littered with them, actually. I'm glad you brought it up. You're probably wondering why these are on the table, and if you don't see them, you're either stupid or unqualified.
no, I know the shipping and handling is a lot, but these are so heavy.
They're so heavy. Yeah. We've reinforced the table.
This is charging us a ton. The T-shirt's only $49.99.
Yeah. Per sleeve. So, so he goes back and he tells the emperor, it held me spellbound. So all the town was talking of this splendid cloth, and the emperor wanted to see it for himself while it was still in the loom. So at this point, he's like, fuck it, I want to see this before it's done, too. He can't wait anymore. So attended by a band of chosen men, among whom were his 2 old trusted officials, the ones who had been...
Prince and his entourage.
like he takes the revolution with him.
Exactly.
We've come to see the blouses.
Show me the blouses. All right. It's, yeah. Yeah, well, that was a good one.
So the emperor floats in.
So, all right, you want to see it for himself. So he takes his band of chosen men. Among them were the 2 old trusted officials, the ones who had been to the weavers. Previously, he set out to see the 2 swindlers. He found them weaving with might and main, but without a thread in their looms. Magnificent, said the 2 officials who had already been duped. Just look, your majesty, what colors, what a design.
Don't trip.
It's everywhere.
They pointed to the empty looms, each supposing that the others could see the stuff.
Again, the king's going to be acting real weird.
Yeah. Well, I mean, at this point, like, he can't be like, well, if they can, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he's kind of
Right.
backed into a
The cop
corner
walks
here.
in, he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really painted in a corner. What's this? Thought the emperor. I can't see anything. This is terrible. Am I a fool? Am I unfit to be the emperor? I mean, I think one would kind of answer the
Yeah.
other. Like,
Nobody has any confidence.
like, am I a fool? Well, if that's it, you don't have to ask yourself the second question, which I think means the first question is right by principle. It's like looking for your keys after you found them.
Motherfucker.
So yeah, am I a fool? Am I unfit to be the emperor? What a thing to happen to me of all people. Oh, it's very pretty, he said. It has my highest approval. And he nodded approbation at the empty loom.
He's like, I have one at home just like it.
No, that's how did you know that's my favorite color?
I wear the same clothes as the emperor.
How did you guys know I was in autumn? That's spectacular. So he nodded at the empty loom. Nothing could make him say that he couldn't see anything. So his whole retinue stared and stared.
His whole what?
Retinue?
Retinue?
It's retina. He used his whole eyeball to stare.
It's not retina.
It's,
Well, you're bad at reading. So
I'm not saying you're wrong on that point.
Are you sure it isn't rectum or something?
No, it's
Somebody
referring
else.
to his entourage. Retinue. It's like his entourage.
stop saying it weird.
Why didn't they just say entourage?
Because they're Danish and it's 1837.
Who looks at a word and goes, we need a different word for that word? What the fuck?
Make it harder for this guy 200 years later.
Right.
All right. So his whole retinue stared and stared. One saw no more than another, but they all joined the emperor in exclaiming, "Oh, it's very pretty!" And they advised him to wear clothes made of this wonderful cloth, especially for the great procession he was soon to lead.
You should
Spineless.
you should use it for the blinds in your,
When you go to visit the blind home,
That was
Exactly.
the first
Princess.
Pope mobile. That was he was taking just standing there showing off his new robes. Yeah.
the glass case.
Yeah.
Magnificent, excellent, unsurpassed were bandied from mouth to mouth, and everyone did his best to seem well pleased. And that will lead us to our third and final fairy tale trivia. Jimmy will go first. What did the emperor give the swindlers? Was it A, a title, as in like basically did he knight them? B, a treasure? C, land, like an estate? Or D, invisible money?
they're gonna go for treasure. They're
Right.
gonna say, "Give me a bunch of gold."
So you
and
think he's
shit.
basically just
And
going to give him a
that-
chest
yeah,
and like here you go.
absolutely.
All right. So you think it's treasure? We'll go to you next, Denzel. What did the emperor give the swindlers? Was it A, title, B, treasure, C, some land, or D, invisible money?
I don't know. Everybody in the story is terrible, so like I don't want anybody to win.
Fair enough.
Because like the swindlers, they're swindlers, but then everybody else is stupid. So like,
Hopefully, he give them crabs.
I really want. Seeing as how I'm
Unfortunately,
not,
an STD is not one of the answers.
I'm not going to win, so I really want. So I'm going to go with what I want is invisible money.
Okay, so you think that maybe they're going to say, you know what, we can play this game too.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right,
Like
so-
we're calling your bluff.
You're my hero because I was literally thinking the same thing, but I was gonna settle with land.
Yeah.
So-
So you're the same
So,
reason,
yeah.
like, fuck it, I can't win anyway. I'm just going to go from the
well,
gut.
the invisible money is just the perfect fucking answer because he's
Yeah.
like, come on,
Well, now, I mean, fairy tales have meaning.
right? But he's like, count it.
Yeah.
All
He's
right,
like, count
yeah.
it. Tell me. And
Yeah.
he's like, there's no money there. And he's
I've
like, oh,
given
you
you-
dumb motherfucker.
Well, you must be stupid because all of us can see it.
a
exactly.
giant chest of fucking empty, like invisible money.
We printed it on woven fabric. Like it's the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm going with land.
We got
Okay,
we
so you
got
think he
magic too,
basically gave him an
motherfuckers.
estate and land. And again, you know, in feudal, wherever this is. That
yeah,
would
with
be-
everything I said erased. He was like, "Oh my God, they're beautiful. I'm also an idiot."
1837
You know what?
in England was not feudal.
Yeah.
Have
they're telling a feudal king, you know, and
have my land, have my
Feudal
castle, have my
system,
daughters,
yeah.
the goats, everything. You can
That
have
kind
it.
of
Yeah.
shit.
Or it's
Okay.
like a picture
I'll
of
get on
me.
a boat and leave with my clothes. This is
right. That's
beautiful.
all.
Yeah.
That's all he cares about anyway.
Right,
That's
exactly.
fair.
Yeah.
They made a
They
point to
started
say
with
that at the
that. Yeah,
beginning. Yes,
exactly.
I
that's
wanted
true.
it to be
That's
like
true.
like one of the answers to be like a picture of me wearing the clothes. So you just have a picture of me with my balls out.
So in the book that I was talking about at the beginning, where they had his bare naked buddy, he was like on a boat. So actually, hey, I might be remembering.
Right, there you go. Yeah, that's- yeah.
But he was on a boat with his all you seen was a naked butt going off into the sunset.
Right.
So
riding off, dick in the wind.
your version, they're just they're doing a Titanic cut or
All
in
right.
the front.
So again, to remind everyone, Jimmy is currently up 2-0. So technically, he can't really lose this. But Jimmy thought that it was treasure. Denzel thought that it was invisible money.
This is what I wanted. To be.
He wants it to be invisible money. And Scott thought that it was land. I'm also very stoned. We did dabs.
Three
All right,
for
so-
3 would be amazing for you. I'm rooting for you.
So, all right. So we will get back to the fairy tale to figure out what the answer is. So the emperor gave each of the swindlers a cross to wear in his butthole.
That's a treasure if I've heard.
Now that is a religion I can get behind.
Guarantee there's nothing in there that would make you say that. That's in your mouth. That is all you.
Love, respect, instead of amen, just astroglide. Like, what the
He was all the way in it too.
What else does he wear in his butthole?
Yeah,
I
let's
swear
do.
to God, it's not subconscious.
Does he bedazzle his cross?
Because like, how is this word that close to the word butthole?
I swear to God.
Oh, this better be close.
I beseech you.
I hope somebody wouldn't
I
change
can't
the word.
not see butthole now.
Because mind you, he's read this already.
It's something I don't think I ever would have said in my life.
Yeah, I feel like he's got it all set up to like he knew this.
You should have
He said
known
he was
that
the only
that
one that knew
word
this.
is not.
I have read this
butthole.
before. The emperor gave each of the swindlers a cross to wear in his buttonhole.
That is pretty close. That is.
You
I will
only
give
see
you that.
the beginning and end of a word. So
Like buttonhole. I could see.
And the
You went
title
so-
of Sir Weaver. So to answer the fairy tale trivia question, it was a title. So none of you got it
title,
right.
yeah.
Yeah.
But
He
you
made
went
them
so
Sir
hard
Weavers. Yeah.
into that.
I went so hard into that butthole. Yeah. Again,
went past the T part of the cross.
it was like a stutter because it just then it picked because God loves me. It picked that syllable to stutter on.
You don't want your friends to know you're religious, so you gotta hide it. I get
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Yeah, that's it.
That's where we're saying.
All right, so congratulations, Jimmy. You're the official winner of Butthole Trivia. No, you won Fairy Tale Trivia 2-0.
I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, you are. Yeah. All right, so so he gives him a title and the cross.
He gives him the cross.
To wear. Just gonna leave it at that. I'm not going down that path again.
Picks up the little one like in Little Nicky. He's like, the one on the building.
See the one at the top of the steeple? All right. So before the procession that they mentioned before, this king's going to have this great procession. Before the procession, the swindlers sat up all night and burned more than 6 candles to show how busy they were finishing the emperor's new clothes. They pretended to take the cloth off of the loom. They made cuts in the air with huge scissors, and at last they said, "Now the emperor's new clothes are ready for him." When the emperor himself came with his noblest noblemen, and the swindlers each raised an arm as if they were holding something, they said, "These are the trousers, here's the coat, and this is a mantle," naming each garment. All of them are as light as a spider web. One would almost think he had nothing on, but that's what makes them so fine. So yeah, you guys kept asking, you're like, wouldn't they know that when they
Yeah,
tried to
of
touch
course.
it? Well, hey, these swindlers, it's not their first
like
game.
we're
Like, they know.
nothing at all.
Yeah, they're like, that's what makes them so awesome. It won't, not only, but it won't feel like you're wearing
So
it.
honestly, they told us they were swindlers, and they still fucking got me.
All right. They should have seen that one coming.
They haven't even asked us our names yet.
How did they know?
So, yeah, they say one would think they don't have anything on. That's what makes them so fine. Exactly, all the noblemen agreed, though they could see nothing, for there was nothing to see. "If your imperial majesty will condescend to take your clothes off," said the swindlers, "we will help you on with your new ones here in front of the long mirror." Giggity. The emperor... The emperor undressed, and the swindlers pretended to put his new clothes on him, one garment after another. They took him around the waist and seemed to be fastening something. That was his train, as the emperor turned around and round before the looking glass.
This guy's getting trained.
How well your majesty's new clothes look. Aren't they becoming, he heard on all sides. That pattern so perfect. Those colors so suitable. It's a magnificent outfit. Then the minister of
Oh,
I'm not going to have another butthole incident, I swear.
The minister of pubic what? Penis what, John?
I deserve all of it.
So, like, do you think he's like, like the whole day he's like thinking, all right, I got to at least kind of have a half chub going? Like,
Well, no,
because
but
like
he
there's a
doesn't-
lot of stupid people, but I also
maybe,
don't
I
like. I
guess,
need
yeah.
to make sure they know, like.
Well,
'cause,
so
like,
far, he
you know,
hasn't met anyone that can't see them in his mind. That's why he's going along with
right,
it. Because
but
every
like,
single
he's gotta
person he's
know there's
encountered is like,
somebody
those
dumb
are
out
awesome.
there.
Like,
Well, he's waiting for that maybe, but yeah. So anyway, how well your majesty looks. The pattern, it's all magnificent. Then the minister of public processions announced, "Your majesty's canopy is awaiting outside." "Well, I'm supposed to be ready," the emperor said, and turned again for one last look in the mirror. "It is a remarkable fit, isn't it?" He seemed to regard his costume with the greatest interest. The noblemen who were to carry his train stooped low and reached to the floor as if they were picking up his mantle. Then they proceeded to lift it and hold it high. They didn't admire it. I swear I get through
that
this.
shit.
They didn't dare admit they had nothing to hold. So off went the emperor in procession under his splendid canopy. Everyone in the streets and the windows said, "Oh, how fine are the emperor's new clothes. Don't they fit him to perfection? And see his long train." Nobody would confess that he couldn't see anything, for that would prove him either unfit for his position or a fool. So, like, everybody in the parade watching this just go by from the windows is like, holy shit, look, I don't see a naked dude.
I want this whole village to be burnt down to the ground. Like, nobody deserves anything in this.
No costume the emperor had worn before was ever such a complete success. So in other words, like, he was getting a better reaction than he ever had gotten before.
Yeah.
But he's got nothing on, a little child said.
Look at his dick.
So yeah, like in the midst of this huge parade, where there's just one kid's like, but he doesn't have anything on.
Pastor John?
I mean, maybe he's just ripped like Jesus. So, like,
So
People are like, damn.
so this child is the first one to speak out. Did you ever hear such innocent prattle, said the child's father. And one person whispered to another what the child had said. He hasn't anything on.
I can't see.
A child says he hasn't anything on. But he hasn't got anything on, the whole town cried out at last. The emperor shivered, for he suspected they were right, but he thought, this procession has got to go on. So he walked more proudly than ever as his noblemen held high the train that wasn't there at all. The end.
what the fuck?
No,
That's it?
That's it. The end.
That's the stupidest. What the fuck?
So the town finally figured it out, and the emperor's like, fuck it, I'm all in. And his noblemen went along with it because they weren't going to lose their position. So
You know,
yeah,
everybody left just going, that stupid fucking kid.
Yeah.
That stupid fucking kid.
ruined it for everybody.
Yeah. We could have seen this for years.
Yeah.
He was
So
about to
that's
go
the
to the
end of it,
United
yeah.
States next week.
They certainly end very oddly sometimes.
That was too abrupt.
Yeah.
That was like,
I think not many other options. Like, he could have been like, they were like, we made you a silk robe with a long, and he's like, this is a 14-piece suit. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm glad that you kind of are thinking that way, because we're gonna go ahead and get to the final little bit we do here. You've heard the tale now. That's where it ends. You heard a little bit of the background of the author, when it was written, that kind of thing, where it was written. So having heard all of that, what do you think the moral of the story is here? What do you think Hans Christian Andersen was trying to teach the children in 1837 by telling this tale? What do you think the messages we take away?
Keep it simple, stupid.
Okay.
No, you look at something, you don't see it. Are you stupid?
Yeah.
I'm not going for it.
Yeah. So, but in other words, believe your own eyes. Don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, I get that it's like, kind of a trust yourself, trust what your own eyes see, and
Yeah, because if somebody was trying to sell me like ocean property in Arizona, I'm gonna question it.
Well, yeah,
I might Google it. I might Google it.
Like it only looks like Arizona if you're stupid.
Right,
Otherwise,
right.
there's water everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. All right.
So I'm gonna Google some stuff, and I know
Yeah.
it's 1837. They didn't have Google, but
Yeah.
you ask your mom,
They had,
whatever.
like,
I don't know what they
oracles
did
and
back
shit.
then.
They had God. They had
Yeah,
God.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
still.
no answers.
Yeah.
So all right. So you think it was basically trust your own eyes, believe in
Yeah.
what you see. Denzel, what do you think the moral or the lesson to take away here was?
it's fucked up, because I think it has the actual moral. What I think they're trying to portray is like, don't trust everybody, and be confident in yourself.
Yeah.
But like, what I think the real moral is, like, stop being so fucking like confident in your own stupid. Like, these motherfuckers are stupid. If they like, like, so if it had have been the actual magical shit, they couldn't see it anyway because they're all morons and they knew it.
Yeah.
So like, ask questions if you're stupid. It's okay to be stupid.
Yeah.
And like, until you make it everybody else's fucking problem.
All right. Well, I
No
mean, that's a
stupid
tough one, though,
questions.
because if you're stupid, it's hard to know that you're stupid, I feel like. You know what I mean? But
Only if you're in hordes of other stupid people.
In my
which it
family,
seems they were.
Yes, that's why I wanted that whole
Everybody
village to
told
burn
you,
it.
right?
Yeah.
That whole village could have
Yeah.
burned to the ground just
Yeah.
because of stupidity.
All of
But
them like, I don't see a fire.
it's like one child, and they're like, "Oh, you know what?
What's that kid running for? Hey, he's
That
stupid.
kid's right."
All right, fair enough. So don't be stupid, and if you're going to be stupid, ask questions. That's fair. Jimmy, what do you think?
I think the moral of the story, because it ended so abruptly like that, like, you don't need clothes if you have authority and a pretty dick.
That's fair,
There
yeah,
you go.
because at the end of the day, even once the Emperor realized they were all turning on him, he's like, I don't care, I still believe it, so that's all that
Nobody
matters.
batted an eye. They were like,
Yeah.
you know what? That like, like even if he's not wearing clothes, he's all right. Like, you know.
Yeah.
He's living his best fucking life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's a good one, too. And for this one, I'll also participate. I mean, my takeaway had kind of a bit of what some of you guys were saying, but more than anything, for me, it was don't be afraid to eventually accept the truth and walk away. Because to their credit, eventually, it might have taken a child to point it out to him, but the town folk did eventually be like, you know what? You're right. He doesn't have any fucking clothes on.
We're all
You know what?
idiots.
This is we fucked up. We're done. We're done now. You know. So no matter what, you know, at the end of the day, don't be afraid. Once you can finally see the truth for what it is, don't stop that from ultimately. No matter how deeply invested you've been along the way, once you know you've been swindled, you know what? Just admit it and move on and get past it, because that's the only way you're going to get out of that
You don't
situation.
even want to be the cool kid,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, no, right? Like, I get, yeah. So, all right. Well, again, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Scott Zank, to our guests. We will, again, put that information, get zanked, where they can
Get
go and
zanked.
check out whatever you're doing when this episode comes out. And so they can check out one of the rooms where you produce comedy shows, which are awesome, or even see you perform yourself as
I
well.
do have to plug that the contest, 'cause that's for the next 10 months.
Okay, so
we're doing gas station sushi games.
okay.
It's a 10-month contest. You guys all sign up.
Absolutely.
So it's based after Squid Games on Netflix. We took
Alright.
all the games that they're playing. So the first round is red light, green light. Comics get 5 minutes. We have a red light and a green light that go on and off. You can't move or talk. It's
Okay.
going to be awesome.
Well,
Yeah.
we'll definitely put
So-
up where people can go and
Yeah,
check
so
all
go
the
check that
information out. Yeah.
Come out, perform,
Sounds fun.
and watch that shit. It's a free show.
Awesome.
We're giving away $2,500 for the comic that wins.
Nice.
And we also have $2,000 in prizes for each round.
Well, that's great.
To split between
So
everybody.
yeah, again, we'll put all of that information on the
All
screen.
7 of your people
can go
sign
there.
up.
Yes, yes,
Get it.
It'll be so many numbers. So
Oh.
thank you again so much, Scott Zank, for taking your time here. We had a lot of fun. Again, thank you so much to my good friends and co-hosts, Denzale Whitehead, Jimmy Bain. I have been Johnny Hauser. This has been The Emperor's New Clothes by Hans Christian Andersen. Thank you so much. Have a great night.
I got a pretty dick. I got a pretty dick too.
I see it. It is pretty.
Hey,
Yeah.
check it out.
No. You keep those wrinkled jeans on, sir.
And try not to get drunk.